Next up, we'll go with the Saturn. One of my favorite, what I like to call a sleeper system, because not a lot of people had one and not a lot of people gave it the credit that it deserved. But here is the whole reason why I bought a Sega Saturn in the first place, because my buddy was playing this game and I fell in love with it. And it's from our old favorite Working Designs, and that's Dragon Force. This is a strategy style RPG, but it's just so great. I mean, every character in this game has its own personality, and there are, I don't know, 100 of them at least, if not more. And they all have funny lines. It's well put together. The strategy combat is just fun. You have your own kingdom that you take control of, and you manage the troops, what type of troops, you move them to different locations to take over different castles. You ask people to join you. You search castles. You increase, you make the castles better so you can have more troops. This game is just fabulous, especially for you guys who like the strategy RPGs. This one's a little different from like your tactics style game like Final Fantasy Tactics or Disgaea, but I highly suggest this game, and I'm sure a lot of you Working Design fans out there know that this game is fabulous. Next up, we'll hit up the Dreamcast. Now, like I said before, I usually would pick Skies of Arcadia, but since I have that on the GameCube, I put it in the GameCube slot. So my next favorite RPG on the Dreamcast is the reason I bought the system, the sequel to Grandia, Grandia 2. This game was not quite as good as the first one, but it was just so far up there. I absolutely love this title. The characters in this game were lovable too. I mean, some people didn't like the main character, but he wasn't that bad. I mean, I've played a lot more whiny ass characters for a main character, like Star Ocean, The Last Hope, edgy whiny butt. But I would highly suggest this game. I mean, it still holds up well today. I mean, it's just beautiful on the system. Grandia 2. Next up, let's go. I mean, the Wii, there's a couple titles that I liked, but I'm going to go with the one that I'm playing right now, which I can't speak high enough about, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles. Fantastic game. The characters, I don't hate any of them yet. Of course, I'm not that far. I'm about 20 hours in, but I can already tell this is going to be one of my favorite games on the system. The combat is intuitive. It's different. It's very fun. It can be very strategic. I mean, I absolutely love it. How especially in the battles happen, in the regular world that you have. Xenoblade, I'm sure you guys have heard enough about this already. For the PSP, another system with a ton of fantastic RPGs. But until recently, this has become probably one of my favorite, and it's from Xseed, which is an upcoming publisher that's really bringing us a lot of great titles. And that's Trails in the Sky. It's one of off the series, the Legend of Heroes series, but this one is by far the best. It's kind of a strategy style game, but like I said, if you couldn't tell already, if an RPG has great characters and great character development, I end up loving it. I highly suggest this one for the PSP. You could still pick this up really cheap too, and you could probably get the premium edition on top of that, which comes with a poster, soundtrack, your typical Xseed thing. Next up, Xbox 360. This was a toss-up between this game and Tales of Vesperia. I really like Tales of Vesperia, and it's probably my favorite Tales game so far, but I think I like this game a lot more. And that's from a developer that I'm really starting to like, and that's Mistwalker. And they have a new game coming out, Last Story. That's Lost Odyssey on the Xbox 360. This game had such a deep story, and it's very engaging. The combat's very, old school, if you will, turn-based, very easy to use. The characters are great. This game also has one of those bad guys that's pretty evil. You know, you give them the fact that that's a real bad guy. Goro right there. You could pick this up very cheap too. I would highly suggest it. It's a very gorgeous game. It's not extremely long, but fairly long. I think I put 60 hours into this title. I think it's 4 discs? 3 discs? 3? Pretty long. Great title. And lastly, guys, I'm going to tell you, on the PS3, there are actually a fair amount of RPGs on the system, but a lot of them are like niche titles from like NIS, and unfortunately most of them aren't that great. But Atlas wins again by bringing us Demon Souls. This is more of an action RPG. Very difficult, but a lot of fun. Very open environment where you can just run around, and well, let me put that straight. You can't really just run around in this game. You have to really plan your attacks very appropriately. Otherwise, you will die. And you will die a lot of times in this game. But just the way this is probably one of my most favorite action RPGs out there. Demon Souls.